Welcome to B2B cross-industry growth. So the last part of CCCI is cross-industry growth. And in this segment, we'll have a recap of what B2B means, and it will help us understand how easy it is to go cross-industry in B2B. We'll talk about that in a growth matrix perspective. I'll give you just a simple recap of VSA and transing because it helps us to understand that cross-industry is part of VSA and transing. And in segment 2 of this topic, I will talk about how we can increase our wiggle room by unbundling the service and product dimension. And lastly, I'll sum up with a cross-industry checklist. So let's get started. Okay, so this is a recap of what B2B to C means. And the B2B to C implies that we can have a myriad of applications of how our product can be used. Take, for instance, LED. So as we can see in this example, LED is used in a variety of different industries, such as for UHD TVs, for smartphones, for laptops, and of course for lighting. And this is what we refer to as verticals. So there are many different verticals in terms of how we can use our product. But you also have a horizontal dimension. So what horizontal means in B2B marketing is something that is non-industry specific. So even in terms of lighting, there may be one component that can be used across all these different industries. So not only do you have this vertical way to grow by adding another vertical, but you also have a cross-industry horizontal way to grow as well. So combining the two, we can think of this as being like a matrix. And let me use the case of Alibaba. And Alibaba.com is, of course, the most famous Alibaba that we know of. And it conducts wholesale e-commerce. It's a marketplace for import and export and B2B buying and selling. So that is what maybe market expansion can refer to. So they can still grow. There's ample room for growth, not only in Asia, but in the rest of the world. But they can add a new vertical, which they did with AliExpress, which is more retail-oriented and more limited in terms of the kind of countries served. Also different in terms of the level of transaction, whereas Alibaba.com was big, large transactions. With AliExpress, as far as I understand, you can buy just one product. So the smaller quantities can be bought in this new type of vertical. So that will be the new vertical for them, at least in the past. Their new horizontal, again, horizontal meaning across industries, industry-wide. Could be their Alipay, and so the digital wallet competition that many companies like Apple is getting into, that Samsung is getting into, again, is not industry specific. And of course, cloud services is another form of a non-industry specific service. So that could be their new horizontal. So it could be vertical, it could be horizontal, but it could also be diagonal. So if you are a movie buff like I am, and I haven't talked about movies that much, but a movie that was very popular a few years back was Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation. And guess who produced it? Who financed it? It was none other than Alibaba. So it's totally unrelated to what they have been doing. So there's nothing organic about it. but it still bears the name Alibaba. So maybe that is the commonality. Given the high brand equity, the high brand awareness that people have, Alibaba Films may be taking advantage of that brand equity, even though it's in a very different line of business. Okay, so another example of a new vertical, and this is LGU+, which is part of the LG group. And I'm very proud of this example because one of the team leaders was a former student of mine. His name is Dongbin. And LG co-created not only LGU+, but LG Display and LG Innotech, LG Household and Healthcare, and LG Electronics, this very innovative product, which is a very hybrid new vertical. It's furniture, it's information, communication, technology, and even cosmetic counseling, all rolled into one. So when the mirror looks at you, you can say, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? And you like for the mirror to tell you, oh, it's you. But in some cases, if you have facial problems, they can diagnose what's wrong with you and give you recommendations as to how to make yourself more beautiful. And I think this applies not only to men, but maybe even to guys as well. Okay, so we talked about verticals, and so let's talk about a diagonal. And I'll keep this very simple. And we all know about Airbnb, and this is where households, if they have empty rooms, unused rooms, they can rent it to tenants or to people to stay over. And it's a very nice concept. It's a B2C concept. And it's one of the symbols of the sharing economy that we live in today. Well, that model has been adopted in B2B by Yard Club, which was founded in 2013. So it's a construction equipment company, and many industries use it, such as the ones cited here. But the problem is in recessionary times, oftentimes these equipment are idle. And that's when Yard Club, again, benchmarked Airbnb, and now allow the renting of these idle construction equipment. And this will offset the heavy upfront investment, again, when demand is down. Okay, let's just have a simple recap of VSA, because ultimately cross-industry expansion has to make sense. And let's use the example of SAP. And now they have a more overarching vision, which is to help the world run better and improve people's lives. And so that is their vision. And I think it's a vision which allows them to grow. And given how MIS and solutions are becoming, again, squeezed in terms of having less customized solutions come up that are cheaper. This is where I think in terms of their strategy, they can continue with their fit part, which is more on-premise, B2B, more vertical related solution providing. But they can diversify that and have more paths to grow by aiming for something which is B2C or cloud-based. But then you have to align that vision and strategy with the proper action. such as their offering of software like Lumira, such as the kind of add-on that can be provided, even though you have a customized a solution, and even going so far as to offering software for free, which probably was not a practice that they were using in B2B, but which, of course, is one of the de rigueur practices in B2C. So they may allow users to use these software for a while, but then hope that they will ultimately upgrade it to something where they do pay and pay something very high, the so-called freemium model.